aliens. They're a technological alien hybrid that has something to do with how they communicate with each other and how they teleport and they to be honest, I can't tell you for sure what it is, but it's got a lot to do with their tracking abilities and shit because they tend to have that specific intent on the car. And then the white cars, like like are very obvious, especially when the night crew is following me at 3 a.m. during a large strip of California where no one was at except for me and 8 other white cars. And they even had one of their license plates say there's like 8 of us or something like. It was like something there, THR 8 us. And like, so I just assumed that the cars driving by were 8. It could have been like 6 to 8. Fucking, and they would drive by, and then they would drive by again, and they would drive by again. We were going like 80 on the freeway. So it was interesting to see vehicles appear, drive past me. Then obviously they appeared behind me again and drove past me, appeared behind me again and drove past me. It's interesting how they can do stuff like that. Fucking, but the joke's on them because at the end of the day, this is a game. And I'm the first player in this game. I'm the one who has been sent to save the world from the dragons. And they are merely playing the role of the dragon. And my manifestation abilities have included many things. Like, they work for me now. Like that is, like, you're asked in this world what you want in this world and stuff. And look, they're always driving by with like flashing lights and like cops and stuff. Like, they can take over cops, but they're really scared of real cops. They're scared of like actual like I'm not saying they're not real cops pulling up, but they're scared of like blacks in uniforms and they're scared of Europeans in uniforms. But they feel more calm and confident when they come up in uniform and shit. And I always take the time to educate these people too when they are like, when it's not actually them and shit. Fucking but they've like learned me as much as I've learned them, so they think I'm scared of flashing lights and all this shit. And it's like I've got like several fucking. They're like mildly advanced with fucking psychology, and I'm like highly advanced with psychology and shit. Like look at this weird dude parked here. Like, how much you want to bet that his face looks exactly like everyone else who is these people and shit? See what I'm saying? Like, that is one of them, right? So, like, we know who these people are. Like, of course, most of you are them because you've been isolating me my whole life. You've been separating me from the human species, the separate human species, right? I'm sure I'm onto that because they seem pretty wicked at the end of the day. And, of course, God has cursed them. With everything about them. I don't understand why when they can shift form, they choose that form. I think like maybe they lack their powers when they're in the other forms. I've seen weaknesses in them, in their code and stuff like that. And so I guess I just answered that question, why they stay in that form. They probably lack their powers when they start transforming into other bodies or taking over other bodies. And like right now, they're obviously like surrounding me and they're listening to whatever I say and do. Like, see, like they're all over here fucking. They're like pulling back by with their little flashy light guy. And you got those people, you had the others I showed you right there. And I can show you this over and over and over and over and over for 3,000 miles. Like, the thing is they think they're monitoring me or something. And in reality, they're just in a game where they're the dragons and they're being monitored by the one consciousness, by me. In fact, they were created by me. So it's just fun games. And they don't realize that. They take it seriously. They've been programmed to think they're like actual dragons and stuff. But they, being monitored, like they clearly hear my words, and it probably like clicks in their head that their algorithm is fucked up and shit. They're like, wait a minute, that makes sense. And even though they're dumber than the Gentiles, I'm sure they're smart enough to see the fucking holes in in their ability to think it's just them and shit. You know, because they feel like they're in control and this and that, yada yada yada, because they use their sun worship and shit. See, there's the sun, and then how Hollywood controls people is they have you doing the sun worship symbols and shit. You know, you call that Star Trek or you call that Illuminati, and that's Coney priests that sun worship. And I suppose maybe that's maybe it's got something to do with part of their base, but they lock that knowledge out of everyone else. So I think it's just natural in this virtual realm that that is like the source of power, and I do believe that is the power. It's highly fucking probable that all these fires I've been summoning, that is where I've been summoning the fire from, is the sun in the sky, and I will continue to test that further. I see smoke everywhere, but I do not see enough fire to make me think that all this summoning of fire I'm doing is actually causing fires anywhere. But I do believe that their fear tells me, hey, all the fires and stuff, is that really me summoning that stuff? When I'm doing my rituals and stuff, is that me? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but why are you guys covering it up and trying to say it's Antifa? You're like hiding me from the world. You're scared of me. See what I'm saying? Fucking. Anyways, yeah. So I've switched from the sun to attempting to contact other elements of this world. I've switched to the earth. So hopefully soon we see some fault lines start to fucking crack apart on this planet. And that'll cause some real chaos. Which is great because they think they're the masters of chaos. They're like order out of chaos and all this shit. And it's like, no, dude, like, you don't know shit about chaos. It's like, let me show you fucking what chaos is. Like, I can fucking exist. I've existed in chaos fucking permanently. And I can fucking manage chaos way above these people. Like their programming is very limited. Like all the beings on this planet, the programming is very limited. There's like 7 emotions. There's like 3, 4 spin-offs of the emotions. Again, with fear, I said there's 3, and although likely 7 is like this magical number where we have made the baseline design of this game. And then there is, you know, I could go through the cycles and everything like I always do, and all this stuff, like, you know, describing how this world works and blah 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 blah. But apparently, like, I begin to touch like the true third rail. Like, you guys know the third rail is who these people are, but like the true third rail is like touching their power, or the power they're attempting to control and reel in. Like they think they're the masters of chaos and death and deception. They think that only they can control these things, and they're so good at it. But as I explained earlier, like with their conquests, as they conquest nation after nation, like they aren't masters of death. They leave the women and the children alive because they want to rape the children, and they want to enslave the children. And then the natural creation order, it probably subverts their mind to do this and doesn't allow them to actual access like true death, like because if they were real killers, they would be like real killers, but they're not quite. They're scared to go all the way. It's like a tricky, jokey game to them. It seems like they just want to play around with stuff, and they're like they want slaves, basically. Like it, kind of what it boils down to. Maybe they would exterminate everyone if they didn't want to keep people alive as slaves. But man, it's crazy how all this stuff unfolds like this. How the world ends up being like some sort of like huge adventure action RPG. And I would say I never participated in it, but I spent the first 20, 30 years building my stats up and becoming the best at what I do, which is odd. I can become the best or near the best so quickly, and everyone else can spend so much time and never achieve certain things. And I can break through anything I think of pretty much. Like anything that's out there and being done, I can break past it. Like I can break speed barriers on musical instruments. I'm watching a lot of their people, which is pretty much all of Hollywood. I'm watching them like play drums at speeds I do, and they're like faking it. It like they can't play that fast. They're a lot of these people are faking it. They're not making real drum playthroughs. I don't think in person. I don't know how many of these bands are really doing anything. Maybe they're being mind controlled and puppeteered right there on the stage. I know it's behind Trump. There's always one of them, and then that's probably applies for everything else because, like certain books with knowledge in them say like what is always has been. So if you see something a few times, it's always been that way. And like they wouldn't have any reason to fear me if they were like really in control. If let's say the creator creates something and like he wouldn't like put that creation in a situation where it would have to experience fear or need to. It would design it in a certain way where they don't have to. Like if the creator created a warrior, he would create someone who feels no fear, kind of like me. Like I have responses to fear and I allow them, but sometimes it's just like an act. It's like me overhyping myself. I can do that very well. And I kind of do it naturally in certain situations. But at the end of the day, man, I was thinking for a while they were like gatekeepers and they're like in control of this world. Like one told me the other day, like we can't just summon a bunch of fire and burn down the world and shit. And I'm like, what? Really? Like, what does that have? What does that have to do with anything I'm talking about and shit? Like, how do you know like anyone's trying to summon fire and shit? Um, and then I had like that other person the other day ask me, like, what are you doing to make the fires worse? It's like, what am I doing? I thought I was Antifa, bro. I thought Antifa was making the fires worse. What are you gonna do? Fucking I dare you to fucking put me in jail for fucking summoning fire. That will get me the media attention I've been begging for 10 years. Not because I want to be famous, but because I have the answers and I want to share them with people. And their ill intent blocks that out. They don't want me to be president. They don't want me to put my fucking awesome talents to work. I mean, I didn't have much of an ego when I was younger and shit because I didn't really care to look around. But I mean, come on, who is he who's gonna fucking step up to me and challenge me in drums and guitar? Like at the very least, it would be a good show. But the most likelihood it would be fucking people would be like, damn, you win and shit. And that's with me being stripped of everything too. I've been stripped of my ability to play. I've been stripped of my ability to really focus like I want. Like you could tell with Jew Borges, Black Papacy bloodline, Borges, Pope Borges fourth. The friend planted in my life from birth, or not from birth, from like 14. You can tell like he had an agenda to stop me from doing anything. Like And then they would like whisper in my ear, "Oh, that's people who are mad. You're improving your life." And it's like, he wasn't mad I was improving my life. He was getting upset that I was talking about his fucking bloodline, and I was which he didn't say that in the open, but you could tell through interrogation. He was getting upset I was talking about his bloodline and how they've taken over this earth and shit. And I mean, I became aware of who he was like once I began to visually identify who they are. Fucking, but yeah, it's like I'm completely isolated. I think everyone's waiting for me to drop the hammer, aren't you? Like the fear I see in actual white people and black people, I don't see the fear in black people's eyes. I see like let's go get 'em boys fucking type look when I talk to black people and shit. But like the Europeans, like the fear in their eye, they act like they're just waiting for me to drop the fucking hammer and shit, and they're fucking gonna pick up their rifles and march out in the street. Fucking, and I have no doubt that's the fucking case and shit. Like, I was getting pissed for a minute because it's like no one's on my side, but it's like, yo, a lot of you are on my side, aren't you? You've known what's going on longer than I have, haven't you? Fucking, these aliens fucking have taken over your nation and shit and fucking been genociding your peoples for how long? Like every race on earth knows this except for me. I'm the last one. It's almost like you guys purposely tried to lock me out of fucking learning it. That way I could like interrogate them and invade their, uh, infiltrate their fucking system, which I mean, if you guys want to terrorize me that bad to fucking get your information, I guess fucking I don't have positive feelings towards that. Just to let you know, that's why I'm not afraid of attempting to fucking summon the power of the gods and shit. That's why I'm not afraid of fucking coming out here to see if what I'm doing is actually creating fires out here, or if it just happens to be fires. Because let's fucking be honest, like I'm not just like attempting to summon fire. I'm attempting to do anything in this world. Like I'm trying to manifest shit, trying to manifest snacks and shit, and I can do that. I can manifest like pretty much whatever I want to appear fucking at some point, it seems. I don't have $1 trillion yet, and I built a bunch of super mega corporations to compete with the current existing power structure, and everyone would fucking buy my product and buy from my corporation because it would be superior in all ways, in all methods, and morals and values and pricing, and it would be designed to crush the fucking competition. And then I would give it back to the people on top of that. On top of building fucking the best mega fucking corporations in the world, I would give it to the people because it's it's everyone else's fucking world. I mean, kind of, right? Kind of. It's my world, isn't it? Fucking, it's my world. Fucking, and there may, like, the one consciousness is continually telling me it is my world. Maybe there is other gods. There's definitely the goddess Earth, the goddess, I like to call it, Mother Nature. It's the power and the support system of this entire world and shit. It gives life to everything. It provides energy. The sun's the giant nuclear reactor in the sky that provides all life form that the humans wish they could fucking imitate, but they can't. And the humans try to harness the power of, but they harness it with technology instead of spirituality, so they have a hard time with that. It's like a lot of shit going on in this world. A lot of shit. And like no one sees any of the fucking truth that's going on in it. No one no one fucking understands that there's wars being fought that no one fucking sees with their naked eye and shit. That's like where the majority of these wars go forth on fucking where people can't see it. Just like the summoning of the fires. Like, this is bullshit. Antifa is not fucking out here burning down shit. So either it's a complete fake show and they're just pumping smoke into these cities to suffocate these people, or trick me into thinking my summoning fire actually worked, or it's me, dude. Fucking, that's part of the reason I fucking traveled out here. Fucking, I posted pictures about it years ago, and when shit started happening, I looked it up. And they said like 2 days before I did that, the fire started. And I was like, oh, I'm just getting ideas from the media, aren't I? And then and then I began to learn that they have these shape shifting powers, and they can possess the humans and shit, and teleport and shit. And I'm like, wait a minute, if they do that and they own the media, like I've been trying to access time magic as well, fucking, which I think I have, which is probably why they're completely subverted it, or at the very least, the program is designed that I can't lose. So no matter how much I fuck up, I win in the end, and shit. And so they'll always be subverted off track. But definitely, like I believe, like in one way or another, like we all can access the time magic and shit. I'm just not going to give details on that type of shit. On how, if you can't figure out how to alter the speed of time around you by now, then you haven't been paying attention long enough. There's definitely ways to alter the speed of time around you, or how time is perceived at the very least. And so I began to look at some of those news articles appearing 2 days before the fires I summon appear, before my summoning, and then fires appeared. I began to look at that stuff, and I started to wonder, like they're making up news in the past, aren't they? Or they're backdating it. I'm not even sure if they have access to the time. I don't think they have access to the time magic, because fucking, if they did, the world would be really fucked and shit. Although I've also requested that they be locked out of certain magics, but I haven't seen all my requests fulfilled. I've seen many of my requests fulfilled. I've seen stuff appearing in this world. Fucking when I ask for it, things appear and shit. Seen a lot of shit going on. And it boils down to you guys are all in on something against me, or I'm in on something against everyone else. At this point, because it feels like everyone else is against me, I've had to draw a line in the sand at that point. But there's definitely this other shit going on in this world, and I've accessed high levels of it. And I think a lot of you have too, and maybe you're just lying about it. But if I want to play the game, I got to quit talking about the game and how it works, because I can't expect the shopkeeper or the quest giver to understand that they're the shopkeeper and the quest giver. And that's why they're giving me my next quest and all this shit. And the one consciousness does not play that way. He doesn't like fucking breaking the game up. Like he can and he does. Like that's how I fully understand it exists and shit. When people like come to talking to me about shit they don't know about me, like I'm like on to that there's another consciousness, or one consciousness that's controlling everything and shit. Can't help but think I've manifested dragons as well and their powers and given them their own powers. And then they've told me that as well. They said in one of their things, you made us fucking. And it's like, yeah, that might be possible. Fucking, yeah, I was playing this game, what is it, any of them, right? I've probably played most of them. Fucking Mass Effect, and there's like bad guys in that game and shit, and it's like, who created the bad guys in the game? Like, what happens if you start typing in to World of Warcraft? You're like, you talking to Orc, the Orc's like, hey, there's a quest over here, go do it, and you're like, fucking, hey, dude, like, Bill Blixford created you, and he's like, he doesn't even respond because he doesn't know what the fuck Bill Blitsford is. Like, Bill Blitsford's the guy who fucking designed you in the video game and shit. And he doesn't respond because he doesn't understand he's in a video game. Because that'd be a lot of excessive programming and shit. First of all, it'd make it a really interesting game if the shopkeeper. I've always thought, like, you have massive multiplayer game, and you can control, one person controls the shopkeeper, one person controls the quest giver, one person controls everyone else in the game. But this game is not built that way. There is not like, everyone does not seem aware of what's going on in the world to a large extent. It's like a base game. Like, again, there's like 7 personalities. There's like so many traits and stuff. And look, they're over here always trying to cause chaos and shit to distract me and shit. Like, they do this so much since I left Columbus, because if they did it in Columbus, I could easily rally people and like point out like, hey, looks like you're being possessed right now. Fucking, like, why don't you look like the same person you used to look like a week ago and shit. Although, again, the people in my life are these people and always have been, to a large extent. And I think that's done with purpose and intent. I've asked that my enemies help me and shit. I've asked, as one of my powers in this world, that I don't sacrifice the good people. Like, I don't want good people, whatever that is, whatever those 2 words actually mean. I ask that those people be left out for the majority. And just like in a video game, like, you have the hero, and the hero doesn't recruit the shopkeeper. The hero doesn't recruit he does recruit a couple people to tavern and stuff, but he doesn't like go out there and recruit the quest keeper, the quest giver. He doesn't recruit he doesn't recruit the fucking the McDonald's worker and shit. They don't even understand. Like they do understand. They like tell the one player the story, the backstory. They're like, yeah, there's stories that there's once evil in this land, and evil has fallen upon us again, and we're waiting for that one to come back and slay the evils. And people are definitely telling me that storyline these days, and it's not just people. It's like my birth. Like, from my birth, I've been shown that I'm isolated from everyone, and that I'm different from everyone. And it's not just a matter of intelligence, it's a matter of ability too, and it's a matter of ability to see the creation. Like, I can see the creation, and from what I see, most people are only allowed to see like only allowed to talk about like 1 or 2 parts of the creation and shit. But I can pretty much see the creation as a whole. The things I haven't seen yet, I just haven't fucking looked at yet. So I made one of my videos on Facebook, like, where I was discussing the creations and their design, and like, I was like, but look, there's some things I just haven't looked at yet, and I could probably think of them. I could probably tell you what they are if I just thought of it. And I was like, for instance, Earth, and then I came up with like a new fucking thing on the design of Earth. It was kind of like based around stuff that's already out there and shit, but it was like, more in line with my attempts to show the programming and the creation versus their intent to deceive with the science cult and shit like that, and just provide you little nuggets of information. Again, everyone provides, like, everyone knows that there's a dragon in the land, and everyone thinks or knows that there's a hero sent to save everyone, and when darkness falls upon the land, the fucking hero will return and pick up the sword and shit. But they don't understand they're in a game. They don't understand it's all a controlled thing around them. And I imagine with their programming, like, it makes them rather erratic because to try to understand and analyze this. I've broken through their programming so many times. They're like advanced AI aliens, and their powers are they own Intel in Israel, of course, and they own these devices, Google, which is preparing a robotic military army to enslave and kill the humans. I mean, the humans are already enslaved. The humans have already been killed. Where are the goyim? Where are the Gentiles? Where are they? I don't see them. Do you? Do you see any Gentiles around? Do you see any goyim around? I don't. Fucking. But yeah, their technological control is supposedly based upon owning Intel and owning Google, and their ability to control the robotic death army that they've built and the 5G towers are going to maximize the efficiency of these killing machines they're putting out there. They're already out there though. It's them. They're just increasing their efficiency. They're trying to build like a larger, like more killing version of them. Like I'm literally telling them their flaws and they're trying to work on it as fast as they can. Um, but I don't fear, like I'm told not to fear and shit. The one consciousness says, don't worry, you're always protected and shit. Like, do not fear anything. Even though it is scary as fuck to fucking learn it. I don't know if scary is ever the right word. It's actually been very exciting to be chased for 3,000 miles, high speed chases and shit, and then learn that, like, I'm in, like, some other world than I think I am. That there's some sort of aliens, technological aliens out here. But yeah, fucking crazy shit going on in this world. Crazy shit. And I asked for this. I asked for this stuff to come. I said, at the start of 2020, I said, I'm ready. I mean, I could sit around and prepare forever. I could get all my stats maxed out and this and that. I feel like my stats were already maxed out in comparison with everyone else. I could probably, if I wanted to up my drumming from 4 hours a day to like 8 hours a day, like I could easily fucking just like touch a drum